Hello and welcome back to my channel. So glad you made your way over here. As you can see kind of in the background, we have had a lot of rain here, but I thought I would take this time to give you a garden update. It is very muddy and very wet. A lot of the plants have been just oversaturated, and you'll see that with some of their leaves. I've noticed a big difference. I'll make this pretty quick because the mosquitoes are out and they are not playing. So obviously our tomatoes are just blooming everywhere. Our sunflowers are just growing up. This one's just having a really hard time. The winds from the storms that we've had over the last week have just knocked these guys. So I'm gonna have to get some posts and stick them in and kind of tie them to it so that it can help. But we have already been harvesting a ton out of this garden every day. We haven't had too many tomatoes yet. They're not really ready. We've had quite a few cherry tomatoes, but that's about it. The cucumbers, we're getting piles and piles of cucumbers every single day. We're working with 5 different varieties of cucumbers, which you can see quite a few of them are growing here. 3 of them are pickling cucumbers. 2 of them are like snacking type cucumbers. And each section is a different variety. So we've got a lot of tomatoes growing up here. They're just doing so well. They are having some trouble with so much rain and saturation. We've got them growing up on this wire here to kind of help them with stability. Our sunflowers are just getting enormous. Love that. More cucumbers down this aisle. It is a jungle trying to get through to pick the beans. The peppers are doing well. They're really starting to take off. We've got some beautiful flowers in the garden coming up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But our peppers are finally starting to get bigger. They took a little while, but they're shooting up now. We've got dill. We've been going through this dill because we have been making pickles every day. We're water bath canning, 5 or 6 quart jars of pickles. We've got all of our beans just going through the roof with beans. I've been making dilly beans, and we've just, eating fresh green beans. It looks like one of our dogs must have come through and went to town on those. But I see a lot that need to be picked. The squash and zucchini, we have just been having an enormous harvest of squash, zucchini, beans, green beans, and cucumber. It's just been so much. You can kind of see that the tomatoes are just kind of really struggling. Back here, these are different varieties of cherry tomatoes back here, most of them. Some of our brassicas are still going right there. I don't know how they're going to do. It has been pretty warm. But the lettuces are all headed up. They are ready to be eaten. We've got quite a few beautiful heads of lettuce. None of them have bolted yet. Thank you, Lord. But yeah, so we've been eating lots and lots of delicious fresh salads. So I can't complain. It's been really, really good. Everything is getting covered in weeds on this end of the garden, which is where I ran out of the weed cover, and it shows. Our peppers down at the end are just overrun. That right there at the very end is cantaloupe. We have one lone watermelon plant. I was really hoping that they would really kind of outgrow the weeds and kind of tamp it down, but we've got some of our peppers that have really been struggling. I think these are all serranos. Let me see. Oh no, those are ancho chilies, and they've just been struggling from the beginning. And I have been fertilizing them. I've got some jalapenos coming up here. But yeah, we've got some weeds coming up due to all this rain. I'll tell you what, it's been a lot. Luke's watermelon plant is just vining out everywhere. It's all over the sunflowers, which, you know, that'll help it. But we've got little baby watermelon growing. Very exciting. I'm excited to see what it does. So that is the garden update. It is green around here, you guys. Lots and lots of green food growing. I am excited. I can't wait for the tomatoes to start producing. But yeah, we've been eating up. Oh, and the okra is getting so much bigger. We just pulled off the first few okras from here today. So they're just going to continue to keep getting taller and taller and producing more. So we've got two different varieties. We got the Clemson Spineless and the Perkins. And they're both really good. So I'm super pumped with that. I am just hoping that it starts to dry up a little bit, because I can see a lot of the tomatoes especially are really stressing. Like you can see here underneath where it's just getting so much rain. And then back there that they're just struggling. It's just so much water. But I'm telling you, they're loaded down with tomatoes. Loaded down. And this one here is definitely struggling. Pretty yellow. It for our next installment of the garden updates. The greenhouse is pretty bare these days. I've got 2 tomato plants in there. I was growing some herbs, but I went on vacation and my husband didn't go out there and water them, so they're toast. But yeah, it's look at all that wet. Anyway, that's the garden for now, and thanks for coming out to do a garden tour with me. Stick around to check out more happenings around the homestead. Thank you so much for stopping by.